Home security camera usually offers protection from intruders. But what if that intruder is a being usually encountered in science fiction books and movies? One Florida man may have witnessed just that. It's 2006 in Pensacola, Florida. David Eckhart is asleep in his bedroom. A closed-circuit camera mounted above the bed captures the room bathed in a soft yellow light coming from an open door. Suddenly, the camera picks up something alarming. A short, skinny humanoid figure begins slowly peeking out from behind the open door. David does not stir from his sleep as little by little, the figure creeps further into the doorway, revealing a bizarrely slender leg, seemingly just a few inches in diameter, then an oblong head and eventually its whole body.
I backed and forth until I found it, and then that's what it showed me, and I showed my son. He's like, got these tears coming to his eyes. No way.
It resembles otherworldly beings commonly described as greys, and this apparently wasn't the first time David has seen one.
Eckhart had his first alien encounter while he was camping in the 80s, and that seems to have kicked off a slew of encounters that have occurred ever since then. And so that's why he has security camera footage of his bedroom, because he's hoping to catch these creatures that are visiting him on camera.
David wouldn't be the first to report repeated visits from extraterrestrials.
It's very rare that I have found an individual that has only had one experience. Invariably, there were multiple experiences, often dating back to childhood.
Betty and Barney Hill in 1961. But they certainly weren't the first. The earliest may have come over a century ago.
One of the earliest attempted alien abductions supposedly took place in Stockton, California in 1896. Two men were out riding their horses when they encountered three fuzzy alien creatures. When one of them tried to lift one of the men and found that he couldn't, all three of them beat feet back to their ship and took off.
According to one poll, about 3.7 million people believe they've experienced an alien abduction. With so many reported ET encounters, is it possible that one has finally been filmed? Let's make first contact with our experts. First, Michael Primo searches for signs this figure was digitally inserted into the security footage, but couldn't find anything suspicious.
From the analysis of these shadows, I didn't detect any major red flags.
Anthropologist Kathy Strange sees some definite similarities between this figure and the most common description of greys.
I was doing some calculations, and the doorway itself is roughly, on average, 6.5 feet tall. And so the height of the creature is roughly 3 feet tall, which kind of fits the description of what a gray would be. The skin color is definitely gray, so that matches. It's very, very thin.
But one thing doesn't quite match.
They're supposed to have very large, dark eyes, almost unnatural in its size. And as you can see for this, even though it's very grainy film, you can't see those large eyes. And I would expect, since that would be the largest feature of its face, that we should be able to see that.
So even if the aliens known as greys exist, this isn't one of them. The 3-foot height could indicate it's just a child. But Stray notices one other red flag in regards to the figure's size.
You'll notice above its head, even though it's so small, there is a shadow quite a bit higher than him, roughly in this area. The significance of that shadow is it implies that there's a larger person standing behind it.
Okay, based on the appearance of this shadow right up here, we're going to say that this is an inanimate object, like a mannequin or doll being pushed from behind into the doorframe. We'll take the witness's word. He says he didn't move the object, but it does not appear that this particular encounter was of extraterrestrial origin.